Hi, I'm Chen Chen, an MFA candidate at Syracuse University. I study and write poetry. This is a poem called To Autumn by John Keats. To Autumn. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatched eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to set budding more and still more, later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor. Thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath and all its twined flowers. And sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look thou watchest the last oozings, hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river sallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now with treble soft the red-breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. I became interested in poetry in the first place. Freshman, sophomore year in high school, I had a really great English teacher, hi Miss Kish, who brought in a lot of these contemporary poets like Leung Lee, William Stafford, and I was just struck by, how contemporary their language sounded, but that was, poetry, and that just made me more interested in it in general, and I ended up seeking it out wherever I could, and came across this anthology. I forgot what it was called, but it had this poem in it, To Autumn by John Keats, and I think after reading some of these more contemporary voices, I was able to enter into this poem. It became a lot more relatable, a very simple premise. He's speaking about this season, to autumn, and that was just, such a simple idea, but it was new to me, that, you could write addressing a season and talk about it in that way. And I guess also growing up in New England most of my life, it just really spoke to my own feelings about how glorious autumn is. All the sights and smells, the trees, the changing colors. And I think overall with the poem, just the way that it's so full of sensory detail and the language is so lush. There's an aliveness to the language, which is in tension with its subject ultimately of things fading away, summer ending, fall, things dying, and yet there's this real pleasure or delight in the language describing that process, which is ultimately something mournful or sad. So that contrast always really resonates with me.